Hello and welcome to another recap for my Mets Realm theme team, perfect team, and out of the park baseball 25. And this is the year 2038. And if you saw my previous recap, you saw that my team did not make the playoffs. And so now I am trying to make the playoffs in the Iron League. And I've sort of found my footing in the last few seasons with Piazza and Syndergaard and DeGrom. So now this season, I'm hoping I can sort of turn the corner and finally make playoffs again and advance to the Bronze League. So here we are in the Iron League. Let's get to the recap. I am a Mets Realm theme team. If you're not familiar with my team, I only pick Mets players, and the card has to have the Mets logo. So if I'm using a live card and the player gets traded, then I have to stop using that player. So anyway, let's get started. So my pitching. Oh yeah, and I hide the record, uh, and then I reveal it afterwards. So I'm going to be going through the stats. You can take a guess about my record, and then at the very end, I will reveal my record and standings. So pay attention to the standings, and then you can sort of guess about how well my team did. So, any case, let's talk about my pitching, my starting pitching. Noah Syndergaard, a pretty good time this season. 12 wins, 5 losses, ERA 2.75. He was actually one of the best in the league this year. He was top 5 ERA, and so I'll tell you that much information, and very impressed with him. DeGrom, 10 and 12, 4.22 ERA, not that impressive. So I was expecting a little bit more from DeGrom, but didn't quite do it. Let's go take a quick look at his game log. And this is the ERA column where my cursor is. Started off pretty small, pretty bad. Had an 8 earned run game in April, which ballooned his ERA to 6.14. And then he didn't really pitch like an ace the rest of the time. He would give up 0, 2, then 4 earned runs, and then have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 0, 1, 1. All right, that was a good stretch up until June 22nd. Then he gave up 5 runs. Then he had a bad stretch in July where he gave up 4 earned runs, then 5 earned runs, and 5 earned runs. That ballooned his ERA back up to 4.37. And then he kind of just wasn't pitching like a great pitcher. 4 earned runs, 6 earned runs, 1 earned run, 6 earned runs, 2, then 1, then 4. Finished strong with 2, 2, 1, then 2 earned runs. So I'm hoping that next season maybe he will do better. So that is DeGrom. And now we got Craig Swan, who I would say probably took a step backwards, a 4.34 ERA. And yeah, I expected a little bit more from him. So kind of disappointed. Not going to go into him. A Viola, 4.03 ERA with 15 wins and 9 losses. He had a very interesting season. Let me go into his game log. So he started off pretty good. Started off bad with 6 earned runs, but then he pitched like a 3rd or 4th starter, giving up 3 earned runs, then 1, then 0, 0, 3, 3, 3, then 1, then 3. And he racked up a bunch of wins as well. You can see in the green right here. So that's pretty good. But then he had a bad patch, and he had a 3.17 ERA at the end of May. Then he had a bad patch in June, giving up 5 earned runs and 5 earned runs and 1 earned run, then 7 earned runs, then 6 earned runs. And that ballooned his ERA to 4.72. So that kind of sucked. And then he kind of was okay from that point on. He gave up 8 earned runs in August. He had an August start with 8 earned runs. He was headed into there with a 3.83 ERA. And then that bumped it up to 4.27. Then he gave up another 7 runs in September after he had a string of good starts. And then he finished decent with 3 earned runs, 0, then 3. So 15 and 9, he finished a lot better than I anticipated. So can't complain there for Viola. Bobby Ojeda, 6 wins, 12 losses, 5.32 ERA. Not great. Not great. I was very disappointed in him. I thought he would be a lot better, but didn't really quite do it for me. My pitching as a whole was not particularly great, and I'm going to go to my pen in a second so you can see that, but very disappointed in my staff. I was disappointed in my staff, but even more so in my pen. So let's take a look here. So Wagner had a 3.07 ERA with 32 saves. You can't see the saves number. Ottavino, 3.72 ERA, and he is not doing too bad. He was pretty much in that setup spot for most of the season. Roger McDowell, now he is an upgradable card here, and he was here most of the season. If you could look at his stat sheet, and then I upgraded him to here. So he's a 3-star combinator. And so he has not been quite what I expected him to be. So that's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. And then let's see, who else are we looking at? Brooks Raley, 4.55 ERA. Not great. Edwin Diaz, he started off pretty good. Let me go to Edwin. He had a 3.90 ERA. I had him sort of in the setup role a little bit in the beginning, but then I had to move him back because he kind of fell back down in the middle of the season. So let's take a quick look at his game log. He had an interesting season. So middle, where my cursor is ERA. You might need to go full screen to see this. So he started off giving up an earned run, but then he strung together a bunch of zeros, giving up 1 run sometimes, and he gave up 3 earned runs in May, then another 1 in May, and then another 1 at the end of May. And so he had about a 3.57 ERA at the end of May. Then he put together a lot of zeros until 1 earned run in June. And then that put him at a 2.88 ERA. So I'm thinking, oh, this dude is really doing well, and I can rely on him as a bullpen guy. But then June 24th, June 25th, and then June 30th happened. And 1 earned run, 0, then 1 earned run. ERA back up to 3.30. And then another really bad stretch, July 14th, July 22nd, 24th, 30th, good one on August 1st, August 4th, 2 earned runs, and suddenly his ERA is ballooned to 4.42, as you can see over here. So really fell down in the middle of the season, but then he sort of does better up until mid-September, and then he gives up 2 earned runs and 0, then 2, and he finishes with a 3.90 ERA. So had quite a roller coaster somewhat. So let's go back to the pen. Expected a little bit better from Diaz, but he was hard to rely on at the end, even though he pitched well. Otherwise, I probably would have had him in a setup spot or something like that to pitch in those spots, but couldn't quite trust him. Orozco is probably my biggest disappointment. He pitched a 5.37 ERA and not good. Had to put him on avoid high leverage. So let's get into this. He really crapped out. All right, so he gives up 0, then 2, then 3 earned runs, and then that puts the ERA at 16. But then he kind of settled down until end of May, and then he gave up 2 earned runs, putting his ERA at 4.91. Then he gave up 0, then 2 again. Then now he's at 5.19. And so then I think at this point I had lost confidence in him, and then he was just giving up a lot. 2 earned runs, 1, 1, 0, 5, 1, 0, 0, 2, 1, 0, 2, 0, 4. Like, this was just a very bad year for Orozco, and he is usually pretty decent for me. So I upgraded him. I think I might have done it last season. I don't remember if I did it this season or last season, but he's a 3-star combinator. Expected a little bit more from him. Hopefully he bounces back next season. Then we got Danny Frisella, 4.86 ERA. Always an up and down pitcher. Can never really gauge what he's doing. Might end up getting his upgradable card because it's pretty good. It upgrades pretty well. But yeah, Danny Frisella will probably be one of the first relievers to be bounced out if I get a reliable upgrade. Then Bartolo Colon is my long reliever, 4.13 ERA. I actually think he's doing a pretty good job as my long reliever, so not really complaining. Let's get to our lineup. Here we go. So let's see. I think there we go. This is my lineup that I ended the season with. I didn't really make any up and down moves. I did shuffle my lineup a few times, and I did upgrade some cards. My Matsui is upgraded now a little bit more. My, let's see. I'll show you what he looks like. A 3-star Matsui. And what else? My Reyes. Where's my Reyes? He's a backup at the moment. My Reyes is a 4-star now. So that's interesting. I'm trying to decide if I want to go all the way or not, but he's yeah, upgraded from down here up to here. So not horrible, not horrible. All right, let's go back to our lineup and let's see. There we go. And all right, let's go take a look at our stats now for our hitting. This is a regular average. Magadan finished 3.09. Dom Smith 2.298. Piazza 288. Staub 263. He had a bit of a drop off. He was batting 300 previously, if you saw my last recap. And it kind of fell off a bit, so might have to. I have him batting. I was moving him around a lot in the season, so maybe I'll move him back up in the order further next season. Alonso 245, 18 homers, 49 RBIs. So I did forget to mention home runs. Dom at 19, Piazza 24, Staub at 15. And I was pretty happy with that. I was kind of happy with, Cedeno. He didn't have a particularly great year. I upgraded his card pretty high. He's a 236 batting. Expected a little bit better from him. Kind of disappointed. Matsui 228. I think I'm gonna try him out in the leadoff next season. And Howard Johnson 27 homers, 81 RBIs, batted 225. Still very low average, but I need the power. 81 RBIs is pretty good. And Strawberry 27 homers, 66 RBIs. I have him batting second. So, because I want him to get a lot of at-bats. So, hopefully that works out. Reyes, he actually didn't have any stolen bases. Reyes 8 stolen bases, 3 caught. I think I gotta jack that up a bit. Those settings up a bit. 38 stolen bases for Cedeno, 13 caught. That's a lot. Anyway, Duffy Dyer, 213 average, and 4 homers, 20 RBIs. He's there for the pitching. Don't really care about his bat that much, but he did get me some homers, so can't complain. And then Lindor doesn't really do a whole lot for me much these days, but he gives me defense, which is why I use him. So that's why he's there. I've been playing him between Reyes and Lindor at shortstop just for defense reasons. I might start Reyes again now that I can see what Reyes is at 4-star combinator to start. So we'll see how that goes. And then Ronnie Mauricio batting 198. I might end up sending him down. Maybe trying McNeil again or someone else. I actually think there might be a card update coming up right now, so we'll see. We'll see. Then let's see. I think that's it for all of our hitting that I need to explain. Alonso, 18 homers, 49 RBIs, 245. I only had him batting versus lefties. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll try him again. Maybe, I don't know. It's really hard to fit in some of these guys when they're doing well, especially hitting for average. I think I prefer average. So, let's go to the home screen here. All right. Now that I have given you my stat sheet in the Iron League, same league as last time. How well do you think I did? Take a guess. So I'm going to reveal my standings in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go. I finished 85 and 77. Not a bad record at all. I finished pretty strong. And I did not make the playoffs, unfortunately. I just fell out of the wild card. I was 3 out of the wild card. You can see this if you full screen. 3 games out of the wild card. I was a little more out of the wild card, but I finished pretty strong with a bunch of wins at the end. And if I let me go to the screen here, where it shows my team rankings for stats. Runs, I was 20th. Average, 25th. Homers, 14th. ERA, 12th. Ks, 12th. Defense, 21st. I was doing well, much higher in ERA in somewhat in the beginning, but homers I was up higher earlier. I think I was higher in strikeouts earlier in the year, but kind of was just a middle of the road team on all the categories except my Syndergaard was was in the top 5 for ERA right here, 2.75, and my Syndergaard was the highest in WAR, which he's been in the leader of WAR since for quite a few seasons now. I'm really impressed with this Syndergaard card, and I would probably recommend his card if you're watching this and trying to get ideas for your regular team. Syndergaard was really good. He's been really, really, really good for me and reliable as well. So that's been kind of surprising how good he's been and how he's repeatedly been in the top in ERA and the top in WAR. So anyway, that's pretty awesome. So anyway, the relegation standings, I'm in the middle here, 85 and 77. Only the top 4 advance. Bottom 4 get relegated. I'm in the middle, so I'm back in the Iron League next season. So we're kind of just hanging around, trying to just hope we catch fire and do well. And let's go to our reports and logs and team stats. In April, I was 16 and 10, May 14 and 12, June 13 and 15, July 11 and 13, August 13 and 15, and September 15 and 12. So just hovering around 500 most of the season. So I started out very strong, though, and then I kind of fell back down, which is kind of disappointing. And so, yeah, I think, and my division standings, I was 3rd in the division. The 2 people ahead of me had 114 wins and 95 wins, so and 82 wins behind me. So I was in a pretty tough division. Sometimes you got a pretty hard division of like middle of the road teams, and it makes it harder for you to advance, but it's can be tough. So right now, as you can see, I have 300 packs. I am not opening anything at the moment because there's not a whole lot I need. There's only 2 cards out there that I need a lot at the moment. That's the Christian Scott and the Carlos Beltran card. So I'm not going to push it with my packs at the moment. I'm just going to wait for those prices to keep dropping, and then I will open these packs when a new Met card is released that is worthwhile. A Brett Saberhagen card was released. I will show you right here. It's not a bad card by any means, especially versus righties. Could be a long reliever, but it's not a card that you're going to be pushing for, at least on the regular side. Maybe the combinator version right here, which can go like this, go as high as this. I can see that, but definitely not running for the regular version. So anyway, that is it for this update for my Mets Realm theme team. I was generally happy with how my year went, even though I missed the playoffs. The record wasn't bad. Wish the pitching was better. The hitting was okay. So we'll see how we do next season. If you're watching this, please support me if you like my content by liking and subscribing. It would be much appreciated. And anyway, that is it for this update for Mets Realm Theme Team year 2038. Hopefully, we can break through next season. Have a nice day.